Hey, welcome back everyone. Today we're going to see how to upgrade our project to 5 to 5.1. So that's really simple. So our project doesn't have too much in it. So if your project has too much, maybe it's going to be a little bit different. But technically you just click on it and they're going to ask you to open it so you have more options. But we're just going to do a copy so we don't affect our 5.0 in case there's a problem with the new version. So we're going to open this. So back in your project, everything is going to compile and shading and all those beautiful things. Here you can see that we have to activate this. So basically it's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go to the project setting and we're going to go exactly where they ask us to go. So they say project setting and down to the platform and window. So we're going to go all the way down, platform and window, and I'm going to activate what they are asking for and we're gonna restart our engine. So we're back in our project. So the main thing that we're gonna have to change here, it's all our action mapping. If you remember, we were used to add our action mapping here in the project setting, and we were going to input, and we were adding all those beautiful input. You remember we had all this. So now we can still use that, but if we want to use the new action mapping system, we should do this. So what we're going to do, we're going to replace all those action here by the new action, how to use this. So for our project, so the project will be functional in 5.1. So here, remember we have our pickup guns, we can shoot, crouch, jump, and all of this, right? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to my first person character here, and I'm just gonna create a folder and I'm gonna put all the action mapping in it that we're gonna need. However, um, we have to set up that in our first person character as well. So if you open the first person character, it's gonna be the old first person character that we were used to have. So I'm just gonna put that here and it's all the old system here on the top. And we don't want to use this anymore, right? Because we want to use the new version. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna delete all of that. So we're not gonna have any of this anymore, and we're gonna use the new mapping system. However, I don't want to start from scratch because it's gonna take a long time. So what we can do to save a lot of time is that we can go back and open the Unreal Engine once again. And when we're in it, we're just gonna create a new project. We're gonna create a blank first person project and we're just going to call that my project or any name that you want. So from this, we're just going to export the first person character so we can have few of the mapping that we need. So we don't have to do that from scratch. So just create a new project. And now here we're in the new project. So we're going to open our first person character. So just go to the first person character blueprint and we're going to open the first person character. And you're going to see right away that there's a big difference in it. So you can see here the action mapping are way different. So I'm going to take all of this. I'm just going to control C all of this and I'm going to go to my new project here. I'm going to have some modification to do obviously, but it's going to save us a lot of time. So there we go. We paste all of that. Now we do have all the action mapping. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to replace that the way it's used to be. Something like this. I'm going to keep the jump close to the jump here. Right? Because we're gonna need that shortly. So as you can see, there is some error. If we try to compile, it's not gonna work. They say there's a lot of stuff missing. So we're gonna fix all of that one by one. So we're gonna go back to the other project. The other project right here. And if you go back here in the folder, you can see that there's the input action. So we're gonna need this one plus this, right? So technically I could create that, but I just want to show you how I'm gonna do this at the same time. So you can just click on the folder that you need and we can just migrate the information here. So obviously I'm just gonna save what they asked. So we're gonna migrate all the action mapping. We're not gonna need the weapon here, so we can uncheck this. So we're gonna click OK and we're gonna go where our current project is. So our project should be around Unreal project and we have our 5.1 right here. So we're going to click on this and we're going to click on content and we're going to drop that right there. So now it's taking what we selected and put that in our new project. So technically we will not need the new project anymore. So we can go back to our new project And now if we open the content browser, if you go under content here, you should have the input mapping in this. So we're going to go for the first person character, and we have the input here with the action. So we have the basic action and the basic default action here. So from here, right at the event begin play. So this is the event begin play. So we're going to remove this and we're going to put the event begin play right here. But we have our event begin play right here. So we have to change that a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take this, I'm going to take all the way up and bring that like next to the event begin play. I'm going to take the event begin play, I'm going to put that right there, and I'm going to add a new pin. And basically, I'm just going to, by holding control, I'm just going to bring everything down like this. And the sequence here would be connected right there. So the first thing's going to happen, it's all of this. And after that, all our normal code that we have. So we can take all of that and we can just replace that a little bit, something like this. So now when the game starts, it's gonna make sure that we're adding our new action mapping, which is, if we click here on the arrow, we should have access to the EMC default. And we're going to use this one to put all our action mapping in it instead of creating a new one. So we're going to compile this. Now we're going to have still some problems. So here, that's the action mapping for the camera, right? So if we remove this and we'll go back to the other project just to show you the difference, we go here and it's AI or IA underscore look that we have to put. So we already import that to our project. So it's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to just search for AI underscore look. And we're going to take this, the first one here. And we're going to plug that right to start because start is press. So, and here we have to connect the value here. So the value will be right here. So if you click on action value and you split the structure, you're going to have access to X and Y. So we can connect X to X and Y to Y, something around those lines. So now we can compile that. You're going to see like one less error. So we're going to go to the next one. The next one is move. And if we go back to the normal one, move is IA move. So it's exactly what we're going to put there. So we're going to go back to our project and we're going to remove this. If we look again in the new project and we go back to our first person character, you can see here the left and right for camera is under trigger and not start. So we're going to make sure we fix that. So that's my bad. So we're going to go back to our normal project, just go back to the camera, and we're just going to move that to trigger. Here, same thing, we're looking for move. So we're going to AI underscore move, which is right there. We're going to take this, we're going to plug trigger to the movement input. And once again, we're going to click on the action value and split the structure so it can give us access to X and Y. And now we can compile that. We have one less error. So the other error is our jump. As you can see, it's right here. So we are using jump here, but you see press and release. So the press is start and the release is complete. So what we're going to do, we're just going to remove this. And we're going to remove those two here. And we're just going to take this and drop it right there. So now we can, when we start doing this and when we are releasing, so we stop jumping, it's going to call this for our code. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy the text here to put it there. You don't have to, but I'm just doing it. So now if we compile, we still have some error. So we're going to click on this and you can see that we still have an error right here because we have to take the jump, just not the one that we just copy paste. So we're going to remove this and just search for AI underscore jump. And it's right here. So we're going to take the trigger there and the complete right here. Actually, it's going to be the start. So we're going to put the start right there. So now we have no more error. So if we start our game, we are able to move. We can move left and right, and we can even jump. And our stamina still work when we are jumping. However, we won't be able to take any guns or anything like this. So we have to fix that as well. So what we're going to do from now, we have our basic that are working. We can move, we can jump, all that. So we're going to make sure that we can crouch and all of this. So we're going to create all the action mapping that we need. So if we go here, we have all the action mapping. So we're gonna create what we need. So we can take shoot for an example. Actually, I'm gonna take jump. If you open jump, you can see it's a digital bool. So press once, perfect, and it's not gonna do anything else because it's set up under press. So it's exactly what we want pretty much for all of our action. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna keep that open so we can see exactly which action we need. But if I go back here, we're just gonna duplicate this, and the first one will be called our fire action, and we're gonna duplicate that once again, and we're gonna have crouch. So we're gonna create crouch, and we're gonna duplicate that again. So we have sprint, and we can duplicate that once again. Let's see what we have. So we have jump, fire, we have reload. So we're gonna put reload, and we have slow time, pause menu, interact. So we're gonna go back, we're gonna duplicate, and we're gonna have slow time power. I'm gonna duplicate once again, and we're gonna have interact. So if we go back, we have the pause menu and drop weapon. So we're gonna add drop menu and pause weapon, drop weapon, and our pause menu. And what else? We have a flashlight and crouch. I think we already did crouch. Yes, it's done. So we're just gonna do our flashlight. So we're gonna duplicate this. Here we go. Now we have all our action mapping, so we can save all of our new action. That's gonna replace all of the old action that we have. So we're gonna open crouch. Crouch is gonna be press, so that's perfect. It's exactly what we want. So if we go back here, the difference will be our fire one. The fire will be not a press, but will be a hold and release, because when we hold, we fire automatically if the weapon is able to do that. So we're gonna do hold and release. So if we go back, and our sprint will be exactly the same thing. So we're gonna go for our sprint, and instead of press, we're gonna have hold and release. So now all our action are good to go. So we do have to add those action, as you can see here, in our main action input, which is the default one here. So we're gonna open this one, and you can see here we already have jump, move, and look. So we're gonna continue adding our new actions. We're gonna click on the plus here, and now on the drop menu here, we're gonna have access to all of the one that we just created. So we're gonna start with crouch, and same as in the project setting that we're used to do, we can just click here on the keyboard and press for the letter that we want. And if you click again, we're gonna add now our fire one, and our fire will be our left mouse. We're gonna add once again, and this one we're gonna select our flashlight, which for me is gonna be F. Another action mapping, we're gonna take our interact. I'm just going in order, and it's gonna be E for me. Another action mapping, and we're gonna get our pause menu, which is gonna be P, and also escape. Right, I just want two because P, when you use the editor, you cannot press escape, so you're gonna have to press P if you want. Make sure that your menu is working. I'm gonna continue and add another action mapping, and we're gonna have our pause menu. We already did that. We're gonna have our reload, which is gonna be R for me. I'm gonna add another mapping here, and it's gonna be our slow time, which is gonna be G, and I do believe we do have one more to do. And we have sprint, which is gonna be left shift for me. So we're gonna save that. Now it's a little bit same as the project settings, so we can see that it's really similar to this, as you can see here. So it's really similar. So that's great. So we're gonna go back on our first person character, and now we're gonna start to change all of our old action to the new action, right? So because all the old action won't work anymore. All right. So if we go back to our project setting, all the old action here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna remove all the old action. So we have nothing anymore because we used the new system. And now we're gonna go back to my first person character. I'm gonna have a lot of error here that we're gonna fix one by one. So just before doing this, we're gonna go back to our action here, And for pause menu, we just have to change a little thing. So we're going to open the pause menu, and here we want to make sure that we're able to trigger this action when we are in the menu. So remember, when we press P or escape, it's bringing up the pause menu, but we want to be able to press again that key to remove the pause menu. So we need to make sure that we check this. Go back to our first person character, and we're going to start with this one here, which is the pause menu. So we just have to remove that, and we just have to search for AI underscore pause. And we're going to have our pause menu right here. We're going to take the first one, the action event, and we're going to from start, which is press. So we're going to connect that right there, and we can compile. So we have one less action. So we're going to click on the first one, which is fire, and we're going to put fire there. So we're going to remove this. We're going to AI underscore fire. We're going to take the first one, and from start is going to be there, and the cancel will go all the way up here with the completed. The only reason is that when you start, if you click once, you want to be able to cancel your start with completed when you click once. But if you hold the key, because it's automatic, it's need to be cancel. So we have to use this one here. Otherwise, our weapon's is not gonna work in full automatic, because if this one get triggered right away, it's gonna clear that automatically, so we will not be able to shoot in automatic. So we have to put those two here. We're gonna compile this, and we need to put crouch. Now same thing, we're just gonna do the same jazz. So we're gonna search for crouch, and once again, when we start, we're gonna compile. We're gonna go to the next one, which is our flashlight. Same thing again. There we go. So we're gonna pick that a little bit bigger, so we have a little bit more space for all of this. Let's look a little bit better. Here we go. Go for our drop weapon. Take our drop weapon. We're gonna start here. Gonna compile. Now it's our interact, so we're gonna search for our interact. Go from start, because start is press, and our slow time, same thing. There we go. And we have one last one, is our sprint. So we're gonna search for sprint, and this one, when we sprint, we have to hold the key because we put hold. So I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about. So we're gonna go to our sprint. We use the hold and release instead of press. So we need to make sure that we are using the ongoing and put it right there. And the ongoing need to be canceled by this one here. And we're gonna put also completed, because if you click only once, sometime it's gonna still drain. So if we put those two, it's gonna make sure that it's cancel both of them. So now if we try, it should work. So play, put that in full screen. So I can move, I can look, I'll shift. You can see that it's working. However, it's depleting very, very, very fast. So because it's the new system, we have to change our value. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. Here on the drain, we're gonna drain instead, we're gonna drain 0.2. And we're gonna wait 1 second here. So we're gonna try this out, see what is the difference for us. So you can see now it's draining pretty well, so that's pretty convenient. So I like this. So if I release when I hold, it's going back up, and if I just press one time, it's going back up once. So that's perfect. This is working. So we're gonna check our jump. So when we jump, it's taking stamina. When we crouch, it's taking stamina as it's used to be. I'm gonna take our first gun here, click once, shooting once, and if we click and hold, it's shooting automatic. We can press B to drop the weapon. You can see now B, it's not working, so we're gonna have to fix this. So let's do that now. We're gonna go back. So where is the drop weapon? I believe it's here. There we go, right here. So we can see here we have our drop weapon. However, it's from start here. I'm going to make sure it's works. So did we put the B key to drop? So I'm going to confirm that I've done this. I'm going to go back to drop weapon, and we have press. That's good there. And we have drop weapon here. Actually, we didn't do our drop weapon here. So we're going to add this. So we're gonna add our drop weapon. There we go, and we're gonna put B, and I'm gonna save it. So now if we go back and we try this out, now we should be able to drop our weapon. So we're gonna take our rifle, press B. Now the weapon is dropping on the ground. That's perfect. So we have the other gun that we can take with E. We can shoot and drop the gun, take the other one, shoot once again. If we hold, it's not shooting in auto fire. If we take back this gun, we still have the same amount of bullet that we had. I'm gonna take the assault rifle, automatic or just one shot. So we can see that this is working. So we can drop the weapon now. So we can see that our action are all working now. So we do have everything working properly. So we're just gonna double check that, make sure there's no error. So if there's no error, so everything is working. We didn't try the flashlight, so let's do that to make sure it's working. Let's press F now. Nothing. If I take a gun with a flashlight, now the flashlight is working. If I press again, flashlight is no longer working. So we can see that now our project is transferred to 5.0 to 5.1 with all the old functionality. Everything is working. So it's exactly how we did this for this project. If we have another project, obviously it's going to be different. So you're going to have to play around and try to fix some error if you do not have the same as me. But other than this, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you. So now we're going to be able to continue with the project with the new version of Unreal Engine. So I'll catch you on the next one.